Now, before we come to the silver lining, and it's interesting that we've come to the silver lining, we've discussed all the things that we don't want to discuss. We are always, dodging these things away. Now, we all know that all of us are experiencing these symptoms, and it's important to call that friend up and have that chat. There's interestingly, somebody has put in a silver lining for them. The moment I've had this in the deck today, Dr. Roshan, silver lining during times like this, I'm sure media and everybody are talking about a lot of things, pollution, earth healing, and all of that. But I think silver lining is something we need to look at personally. What is my silver lining that can help me get through this, and what I can look at? It's interestingly, Preetham on the chat box, I'm not sure if you're looking at the chat box, but Preetham on the chat box has put that his silver lining, or what helps him, is not to worry about the past or the future, and wherever we are in the present, do our best and stay safe, and that works for him. And I think that's beautiful. Would you like to add, Dr. Roshan?
I think I'd like to add a quote from Charlie Chaplin, who very nicely said that nothing is permanent in this wicked world, not even our troubles. And what he's emphasizing there is that, the only thing constant in life is change. And like all crises, this will also pass. But what it'll do when it passes is that it'll leave us more resourceful and more resilient. So that's the silver lining, to say that when we are exposed and when we are experienced, then we are more resourceful and more able to do that. So God forbid we don't have to face such a big crisis, and not many of us have faced such a crisis in living memory. But when we face smaller crises, we will easily walk through it. So that's my silver lining, to say that. And the other silver lining is that this peace and tranquility is not going to last very long. It is extended by 2 more weeks. So I hope that we can enjoy it as much as possible, worrying less and getting on with things more. We don't want to get into all the list of things that people need to do, but this is an opportunity, I think, an opportunity to get back get back to the things that you always wanted to do, to recalibrate, to rest, to rejuvenate, to reprioritize, and to do all the things that are left unattended, whether it's the clutter in your house, or clutter in your relationships, or clutter in your life itself. Try to bring everything into an order, because very soon we will be going back to chaos and noise, and we don't want them to again complain about the very chaos and noise that was missing out of our lives for the last 40-50 days.
I think there are other interesting things. Bibs, thanks for sharing. He's writing, this has helped me to have more me time, which is useful to reflect. Paushali has also shared the same.
Indeed.
I think all of us need to look at our own silver lining. For me, it would be probably to be able to do what I'm doing right now. But you know what? That's my silver lining. As part of Medvacity, as part of DOSLI, for this unfortunate crisis, what it has allowed us to do is to connect with experts like you and bring you more onto conversations like these. And I think that's one of the silver linings that I look at it, because usually the focus would have been more on the other professional aspects that we usually do. But given the COVID crisis, we've focused all that we do at DOSLI onto how we can support the community, both the healthcare community and the public as well. And we're working with the governments to in capacity building in different ways. So webinars is one way of doing it. So I do agree with Dr. Naveen that webinars have also become pandemics. But if we can talk to each other like this and share a perspective and get help. We've had 500 odd registrations for this webinar today. Even if one of them is gonna take away from this session, I think we've done our part, and that's my silver lining, Dr. Roshan.
And I think you very, very rightly put it. I think if you can, we all know what to do, but we just don't do it. And I think if you take away one point and bring about at least subtle changes in the way you think, then it's going to change the way you feel and the way you behave. You don't have. There's another saying I remember. You don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. So try bring subtle changes in your thought processes and see how our perception changes, because external reality is what it is. And if we just change the way we look at it, then we're going to be at least feeling better for the time being.
Right. I'll just quickly pick up a couple of questions before closing.
Yeah, sure.
There's one question. A lot of them have asked this in a different way. The role of meditation. Should people turn to meditation? Does it help?
We deliberately did not want to create an infodemic of advice.
Sure.
When we give too many advice for stress management, then people are stressed out,
Doing
working out
yeah.
which one to attend to first. And
Yeah.
I think meditation is one way of calming the fickle mind. And the fickleness of the mind has always existed. And we have made it more fickle by loading ourselves with information, loading ourselves with garbage, and loading ourselves with know-how about everything, other than ourselves. And there's a saying that when you can't look outside, look inside. And I think this is a time to spend looking inwards, and that's one of the principal good ways of getting awareness of your emotions, of your reactions, of what you're doing, of your habits and tendencies, as to what you do with your emotions and reactions, how you shun them away, how you try to brush them under the carpet. So by meditation, you will bring clarity, you will bring focus, and you will bring your mind to the present, which is quite opposite of anxiety. In anxiety, your mind is like a pendulum, going into the past, regretting about what should have happened, or going into the future, worrying about what might happen. And other than the fear, one of the principal emotions that we are seeing is people are going into extreme state of regret, or they're going into a state of catastrophic thoughts. So if you're in the past and the future, you want to move to the present, you need to be able to sit down quietly, and bring your attention to a breath, or to a sound, or to a body part. And if you can do that on a regular basis, what you'll realize that you are in a calmer state of mind. If you do that in the morning, you start with your day calmer and nicer. If you do that in the night, then you sort of have more restful night. So give it a go with meditation. Sit quietly. Even if you are struggling to concentrate or focus your thoughts onto your breath, just sit quietly for some time without doing anything, as far as possible. Don't worry about the thoughts emerging. Just sit quietly and see whether you can hold your attention to your breath, and start to feel, start to become aware of this life energy that exists, and life energy that is perpetual, that we're not even aware of. So give it a go. 15 minutes twice a day will be very, very helpful. So I recommend that. Yes.
Right. And Dr. Naveen has again brought us back to probably my favorite point of discussion, which we were discussing earlier. Music therapy. Does music help?
Music is the soul of life. I don't know whether it was said by one of the big singers. When I bought my first iPod, I had got that engraved on the iPod. The music is the soul of life. And I think if you want to touch the soul, then you want to listen to music. Music can be used for entertainment, but music can be used for meditation.
Yeah.
And if there's a good music, and if you can focus on certain aspects of the music or instrument, and it'll transcend you. It'll take you to another world. So music therapy, extremely good. Listening is good, but if you can play an instrument, then it's even better.